Guys, let's kick things off with a bang. Let's start it off. Who got the first quote? Pen and paper ready. Why not? Be ready. My notes.
Here I go. You do not develop anything with one giant step, no matter who you are or what you do. Each one of us has had to take a lot of individual steps to accomplish a task, a job, a career, or even a hobby. And that's Catherine Postable. I guess I'm pronouncing it right.
Okay. I want you to bring that back for us. A, because I don't want to miss anything. Right? I feel like I missed something. Say it one more time.
We do not develop anything with one giant step. No matter who you are or what you do, each one of us has had to take a lot of individual steps to accomplish a task, a job, a career, or even a hobby. Catherine Post. So what I got out of it, you can't just go from point A to point B without making some steps along the way to get from one step to the next. Keep
Right
it
on.
moving. Can't do it all like they said. It might be a bad way to explain it, but like these drug dealers, fast money, fast money. They trying to take that one giant step. And that one giant step sends them way back down the road to take a whole bunch of little steps, and they never reach their goals. So long as you know that you're gonna have to keep stepping, you just can't take one step and get it. You're gonna have to keep on stepping. And that way you'll reach your goals.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We cannot forget that life is a marathon. Life is not a sprint. You know, and if it's like they say, and we only get one of these, we have to live this life to the fullest. I'm not sure why we don't, take advantage of our entire life. We don't look at this thing like a whole, so we'll go set out 5, 10 years, we'll go set out and not focus on financial literacy. We'll think to ourselves like, nah, I got time. And that's one of my biggest fears and one of my biggest regrets, probably, right? Is the fact that I didn't take life serious all my life, right? Because as soon as from the time I left high school, as focused as I was, I kept thinking I got time, I got time. But you have to put things in place, things like life insurance. You have to put things like you have to start investing as early as possible. These things are lifetime. This is a ball game. I mean, this is a ball game that you really want to win in the end. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you don't think about your future and think about what you're going to do when you retire. That is scary to me now. So I resonate with that quote as well, but it's definitely a marathon. And we got to start playing more like it. Thank you for that.
Well,
Got to start playing more like all right. Who's next?
Okay, let's see what we got today. Okay. Ask any sales rep what the hardest part of their job is, and I'll bet they'll say closing. After all, signing new customers and upselling existing customers is how a rep makes quota. If they're not getting prospects to sign contracts, they're not going to hit their number. There are some killer mistakes you need to avoid if you hope to be successful. Here are, hold on a second. The wrong thing downloaded, Quincy. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
All right, hold on. All right, let somebody else go. I don't
Okay.
know what happened here. I gotta find it. Take me 2 minutes. Okay.
All right.
I don't know what the hell happened
All right.
here.
All right. Very early, I knew that the only objective in life was to grow. Margaret Fuller.
Margaret Fuller. Who is Margaret Fuller? Do we know who that is? No, I never heard of
I heard her. Let me see who she is.
her.
Oh, she was an American journalist.
Okay.
That was in the 1800s.
Wow. All right. Listen, she sounds familiar though. She sounds familiar. Maybe she wrote something we didn't read before.
Maybe I heard the name before.
Yeah. But say that quote one more time. Feed us, feed us, feed us.
Very early, I knew the only objective in life was to grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. And why did that resonate with you?
And in order to grow, you got to always be taking action. It's just like a plant. You got to water the plant for the plant to grow.
Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, for some reason, that just takes me back to Mommy's quote this morning, where I was going with that. We're going with that, because I think about very early, and I don't know if I understood very early that the intention was to grow, and for a long time, I just and did not stop growing out here, and I just wish that early on somebody would have explained it to me, or I would have read something that intrigued me to say, yo, keep growing. You cannot stay the same. You do not know it all. Be intentional about growth. And that's
Overly
that's
persistent.
something that I didn't focus on. But thank you for that. Thank you for that quote. Ron, you ready?
All right, let's go. Being overly persistent when the prospect says no. If your prospect turns you down, the worst response is arguing with them. That sends a clear signal you aren't confident enough to accept their no. They'll lose faith in you, not to mention your rapport will suffer. So what you should do, just say okay. If another alternative makes sense, you can offer that one. For example, maybe they didn't want to connect with procurement because they think it's too early. So you respond, I understand. Is there something else within the organization familiar with your buying criteria who may be able to give me a similar insight? Showing you can calmly get a no without becoming irritated, pushy, or insecure will raise your status in the buyer's eyes and increase the odds next time you'll get a yes.
Right on. Right on. Right on. Again, thank you for these each and every morning. I take some away each and every morning from these. All right. So give us some context.
Well, you got to be able to get over objections, right? If you're listening to the customer from the beginning, okay, and you listen to his concerns and what his problems are, okay, then you really shouldn't have a problem with this, okay. But you should also remember, 3 no's and 3 objections, and there's just a problem there, so you should just move on.
Right on. Right on. I mean, you can't be a sore loser. You can't be a sore loser when the customer is giving you objections, right? You got to know how to play the game with them. And I like what the quote says. Don't don't lose your customers' faith, right? Because they do have faith in you. When you first engage out of that sale and you're looking confident and you're telling them, I mean, you're listening to their problem, and then you offer a solution, whether or not they're ready, they still have a faith in you that, hey, whatever you say is going to work, but they need to actually be reassured. They need to be comforted, right? So they need for you to keep that confidence. And, one way of losing that confidence is not handling that objection the correct way or being a sore loser. That's really going to hurt your credibility. And the professionals know we can't go out like that, right? We don't want to leave a sale that way. So, we'll hurt our credibility for the next door. They might just know somebody else, that we could have sold. And, they're telling them all about how they was a sore loser, how you was a sore loser. So I love that quote. I really do, because I've seen it so many times. I came across something yesterday inside the field. And it was based on one of our guys being a sore loser, and the customer felt the need to tell me all about it. I work after these guys, and I do it intentionally just to try to see what, because again, when they think that the building is already shot, when they think that the lead is already blown, I just show them like, hey, you worked this building yesterday. All right, cool. I'm gonna take this building that you worked yesterday, right? And ended up pulling a sale out of another building that someone else worked. And the idea is that I didn't like what I heard from the customer. So I think that we were being a sore loser, even though we got the sale. So it was something that was definitely uncomfortable for me, plus while I was training, but it brings me back to that quote. Did everybody go? Everybody went. have an alert. All right, guys, let me share my screen. Let's move on. CRM was yesterday. I remember that, Mama.
Yep.
Remember that much.
Today should be organization.
Remember that much.
I write my little list. Today, July 15th.
Yes, ma'am.
Today's somebody's birthday.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
If you don't need to forget.
Okay, the basics of the demonstration.
Situation. Say it again, Mama.
That you don't need to forget.
July 15th. It ain't my kids.
Your daddy.
Oh, man.
Your pops.
I did not thought that might. Thought it might be his birthday.
Huh?
He ran across my mind. For some reason, he ran across my mind. I thought it might have been his birthday. Relationship management quiz. All right, guys. 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Today is organization. Let me share my screen with you. We'll get right into it.
Organization. Look, if you're not organized, you cannot follow up. You're going to sit down at your desk, look around, and not know what to do. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take time each day to make follow-up a priority. If you don't set time for this thing called follow-up, you won't do it. Just like working out, just like kids, just like anything. If you don't take the time, you will not do the activity. So carve out a time each day, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12. Pick a time. I don't care what it is. Pick 30 or 45 minutes and say, I wonder how much follow-up I could do right now in this short period of time. I would compress the time and press yourself to see how much you can get done. Your desk needs to be clean. Items need to be easily accessible. The CRM needs to be on working and you need to know how to access it. You should be touching that CRM every day working that CRM until it's your friend. If you hate it, if it's cumbersome, if it's slow, if it takes you too long, it's not the CRM's problem, it's your problem. You're too slow with it, you're too cumbersome, you don't know your way around. Why? Because you haven't made a commitment and you're not organized. Write out a list of all contacts that you need to make and have attempted or enter them into the CRM. You know, the beautiful part about a CRM over a legal pad that I prefer is I lose legal pads and I can't lose my CRM. But you got to be organized to use it. And to do the follow-up, whether it's the handwritten note, personal visit, phone call, whether it's an email, the 3rd email, the 12th email, a text, no matter what it is, you have to be organized. Otherwise, you're still going to do the follow-up, right? But otherwise, you're going to look a little dumb sometime calling somebody about the same thing, and or you go to call them and you're like, what are we talking about? And you lose your confidence. You need organization. Make a commitment to it. Carve out some time. Learn to beat that CRM to death until it starts having babies for you.
All right. Beat that CRM to death until it starts having babies for you, okay? All right, let's get into the quiz, guys. According to Grant, if you're not organized, what are you unable to do? Is it sell, follow up, close, or win?
Follow.
1B.
B.
2 Bs. Ron, I can hear a voice saying B for you. Question 2. How often should you use your CRM? Is it A, every day, B, weekly? Is it at the end of the week when you're following up? You shouldn't use it. D,
Every
Hey,
day.
hey, hey, hey.
Every day.
every day. How should you prioritize your follow-up? Is it A, contact the most profitable leads first? Is it B, do it when you have free time? Is it C, follow up with the customers that seems like they will buy immediately? D, schedule out time each day to follow up with prospects.
Good. Right.
How should you prioritize your follow-up? Contact the most profitable leads first. B, do it when you have free time. C, follow up with the customers that seem like they will buy immediately. Schedule out time each day to follow up with prospects.
I'm gonna say D.
I'm gonna say D too.
2 Ds. Ron, I hear your voice again. You would say D.
Sorry, I was reading something. Okay, I'm sorry, Quincy. Could you say a question again?
No, we gave you a D already. Give you a D. You good.
A D? Okay.
Yeah, a D. Serious. So split down. Drum roll. Great job. Great job. All right. So good on our self-esteem, but what did we learn?
You have
Yeah,
to work on that CRM every day, every day, every day.
Customer relationship.
At least and putting those contacts in there.
Customer relationship manager. CRM. Absolutely. You know, when I think about it though, it's like I said yesterday, how our cell phones are just such our first CRM, right? It comes with the cell phone bill. It's a tool that we have. And I'm just very thankful to look at things that way, that he opens my mind up to think that way. Because when I look at the phone, and again, this is such a liability if I allow it to be. Like, you know, I remember buying this phone for $1,000, thinking to myself, like, why the hell would I buy a phone for $1,000? This must be a great phone. And then when I got it, I didn't necessarily know how to work it. I was on a learning curve. I had to find ways to make it valuable to me. And that's how I found this phone to be so invaluable, right? Because the contacts that I put in here, when I get a chance to meet someone, the fact that I can follow up with them so easily, right? I really run a business off this cell phone, you know, and it's all how well I follow up. Following up is so key, so important, especially when you're doing a good job. What I did this week was I opened us up, right, and sent out an email to our entire email list to review us on Google. That's a way of me following up with each and every person that's ever had come in contact with this company, you know, and hopefully some people take some time and actually review us on Google. I want to hear what they're saying. I want to see what they're saying, whether it's good or whether it's bad. I want to hear what they're saying, while also making sure the world takes notice the fact that, you know, that we're growing as a company and that we're dedicated to that quality, the quality of improving, right? So, you know, a way for us to follow up. You got to follow up. You know, follow up with everybody. Follow up with your friends. Follow up with your family, right? Today's my father's birthday. I got to follow up with him, right? You know, so follow up. Anybody got anything else? All right, guys. With that being said, that it does it for this morning's call. You guys are live and alert now. Later.